4:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, October 14th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So we're getting back into the colder time of the year, so we'll start to have this setting more behind us now. It's always nice when we go through the summer and we can enjoy the outdoors, we can enjoy nature, but it's starting to get to that point here in Michigan where going outside at this time when it's getting dark now, it's get sick weather. So smashing in Texas, welcome in. Light it, don't. Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I greatly do appreciate that. I greatly do appreciate that. That is my face superimposed on there. I kid you not. That's how I know you're in month one. That's how I know. XRP had a decent day today, up 2.71%. It remains a very, very, very dangerous buy here, especially if you didn't buy it before it broke out of the short-term bear flag consolidation. And we're gonna have to go through a lot here, so just hang around for a sec. And if you are watching, please early on here hit that like button so we can push through the algorithm. It would be fantastic. Because then it'll allow more people to see it on their homepage when they're scrolling or through their newsfeed. Mark Caston, welcome along with Moza here. Good evening to both of you, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Let's see. Yes, kindly hit the like button like Mo said. Theta, welcome in. I appreciate you like indeed. Thank you. Syrian, good evening, and thank you for being a very trusted mod, and also in your 3rd month in Tom's Army along with Daniel with the XRP Meteor. Thank you all for that. I greatly appreciate your support in Tom's Army. It really does mean a lot. So XRP right now, short term, we're teasing a short-term push farther up. We know we've been trying to fill this, what I consider a fair value gap, but, you know, it came up pretty high, so it's like, did it come close enough? Was I a little bit off? The fact it made this push up here makes me feel a little bit better because it came up to about 55.3 cents roughly. That's pretty high up there. You know, that's come up there pretty high. Now, am I going to split hairs between 55.9 and 55.3 and say, well, you know, maybe, maybe not. But right now, we'll know. We can have a breakout, a bigger breakout here. And, well, hold on, I have to wipe my glasses off. They got a big smudge of them.
I'll be right back.
Yep. You can sit there and do if you want. It's up to you. Unless you want to sit in the chair. But XRP right now, well, we'll know. We'll know very quickly if XRP's meant to hold this formation or if it was kind of like, oh, you know, it's a little bit of fake out here. And we kind of filled in the gap a little bit with the fair value gap. Even though, you know, you could technically say it's higher than mine. Like we discussed it earlier. And I did a very short update when I was at my son's therapy. Around that 57.7 cent level even. So right now is that make it or break it moment where, okay, you know, if you're looking for a trade with XRP, I mean, it's at that point right now. If it holds this, you're going to get that volatile swing up even higher. And this could have been the double bottom put in right here now. We could have done this. It just, whoops. It just, we need to validate this. We needed to validate the breakup, and we know every time we break out of a formation, we're always going to back test it. The sooner the better. And this was a pretty nice back test here so far. Now, if we lose it, that's, you know, what happens when you lose a breakout attempt. Then it opens up the door, even if you're holding a consolidation, the work could come back to 53.30. The way it pushed up here, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit of follow through with volume. We haven't necessarily got that 100% follow through yet. And actually it came down and got rejected at the 200 short term. But we got a lot to talk about here. The Gatman, welcome in, and thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge, I believe that said. And we'll look at XRP Health here today for sure. I've actually brought it up in the last few times I've been able to go live. Because now it's back into a range where it's actually a desirable range. Very desirable range. The problem here with crypto is, if I didn't know any better, like we've been talking about, like we know that's a big bear flag. So we need to break free of this. The first layer is 55.90. You've got like 50, well, it's 58.14 is in totality, this formation. So, not shaking off the cold yet. No, I mean, it's getting a little bit better. I feel a lot better. It's just, the last part of the drainage. Last part of the drainage. No, I actually have been able to do everything I wanted to now. So I actually had the energy I needed. It's just the last part, like not right now, is the worst it's been at night. But I was outside, and now it's getting later here too. But it's getting there. It's getting there. So let's see. But no, we're looking for this. But I appreciate your concern, my friend. We needed to break and hold this area, but this 2 hour before that precedes this was bearish. That's a gravestone that was before this in the 2 hourly, so that's not a good candle. That's not so beautiful of a candle right there, actually. If we're being honest with ourselves, that is not a beautiful candle here. Actually, you know, can we really call it a gravestone? Yeah, we probably can. Can we call that a gravestone for anybody who knows what I'm talking about? I'm thinking we probably can, unfortunately. Now, we could come down here and try to hold the 20-day even in the 200, but you're not really going to want to come down there. Yeah, right. It is a 50-50 right now. That's the problem. And you'll know if it's the 50-50 that goes in the favor of the bulls, because we'll hold this short-term formation. And let me put this, let me put the label up real quick. And for anybody new, I really appreciate you tuning in here. It really means a lot to me that you would stop in and actually check this out. And, you know, try to see if it's worth it. A lot of people come in and initially they're like, and then they'll come back again. Then they'll come back again and they'll be like, yeah, some bitch was right. It only takes once. I could be wrong 7 times, but if I'm right one time when you're here at that right time, that's all that matters. So I'll just keep trying even if I'm wrong. Hopefully I'll be lucky enough to get you when I was right that one unbelievable time. Just like the whole weekend, prior to the weekend, we talked, even though I was not feeling so on Thursday, Friday, the weekend, every day, a little bit better. But, you know, it takes time. It takes time, the body. Normally, it's about 10 to 14 days for your body to naturally start to do what it's got to do. Fortunately, it's pushed me along rather quickly here. But a lot over the weekend. Oh, Tom, you son of a bitch. You said it was going to have a good weekend this weekend. You said, yeah, I said we're going to test the fair value gap, which right now we came pretty close to it, but it just took a little bit longer than I expected. I thought it was going to, well, not longer than I expected. It materialized, and then it happened to have the boost in early Monday. But that's why we don't, you know, we shouldn't be so quick to make the patterns do something. You know, you don't want to force it, but it's going to happen. It's going to do what it's going to do. Oh, you know who happens to be in my small town of Clawson right now? Yeah, guess who's in my small town right now? Jill Biden, out of all people. She's eating at a cafe, some kind of publicity stunt. I don't know what's going on. XRP Goat, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I greatly appreciate that so very much. So very much. So I don't know what we owe the pleasure to her, but I didn't even know she was going around, to be honest. I don't pay much attention to the old politics anymore. Kryptonian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. I love it. I love it. But everybody sees this gigantic bear flag that we've got to invalidate. We've got to invalidate it. That's all there is to it. We've got to invalidate this bear flag. Okay? That's the bottom line. We have got to invalidate this thing. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 year plus, well over a year now, with the I Told You So badge. And he always has to do the I Told You So, too. Like, hey, I told you not to talk about that. You're going to get yourself in trouble. I told you so. Get it. Oh, I get it. All too much now, I get it. But we'll read this too at some point. Obviously, you see it in the title about the inflows, but it did have a pretty solid push up here. But I just wanted to highlight the chart right now because it's nothing that we haven't talked about. It's just now we're gonna have to see it. Let's see. Did I check my email? Did you check your email for the XRP song I sent you? Actually, I was wondering who sent that. I clicked on it, but it would not open. It would not open. I wanted to listen to it, and then after a while, I'm like, is this just a spam message? Because I do get a lot of spam messages. But it wouldn't let me open it. I don't know why. The XRP song, I know exactly the one this must be referring to the one your son made. Maybe try sending it to me again. I don't know why it would not open. I was interested, though, to hear what it was. I promise I did read it. Tell me I'm upset. I want XRP to go lower so I can buy more. Why are you upset? What exactly out of today's rotation made you upset? Is it the fact that the 2 hourly is trying to push bullish here at the last part of it? No, I'm just kidding. It's the beginning of the 2 hourly, but still. But I mean, honestly, we're looking for the push to 55.94, and don't be mad. Don't be mad. It's given us a lot of times to do a lot of things. Now, for you to be mad, yeah, if we get something like, because right now, we're not going to say anything yet. We'll just let this keep it moving. Keep it moving. But right now, the only reason you should be mad and not thinking you're going to be able to buy more, lower, is if it gets like some kind of, and it starts rocketing up. Like, if this turns into some kind of weird, big recovery here where it's like, holy shit, how did that happen so quick? And it becomes like some weird V. Because right now, even though it's sidewinding, sometimes it takes a second for them to get hot. And then you look at it and like, holy shit. So, but if it does get up there, that's the interesting part. But look, if we could break up to that 58.14 and the technical target here, if we hold this back test, if we hold the back test at 54.35, the technical target here is 58.14 cents. The good news about this is we've been way out in front of this. So whether it breaks up from here or not, we at least know what to expect. And then, if you ever get back into that range, if we ever start getting back up into the upper ranges, like this is the lower bound. So if we break down, then we'd have to look at the lower bounds. That's right now, believe it or not, we're still on the top side of a better than almost 7-year consolidation. That was over 6.5-year downtrending resistance that we are over the top of for a pretty sustained amount of time here. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. I greatly appreciate that. And then what I was trying to refer to as well, right now we would also have to come back up. We could come back and back test, I suppose, and try to show how bearish we are, and it's right in the range. The cup and handle resistance, which needs to be broken at some point. So there's a lot that could be going on here. A lot. A lot. And sometimes it's nice to just be sitting here and be like, I'm going to say what I think is happening, and then maybe the audience will interject a little bit. But look at, this is why it's very, you guys read in the title why I said XRP is very dangerous to buy right now. This is the numero uno of all numero unos. Because right here, that's a death cross, folks. And it's not just a death cross in the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the hour, the 2 hourly, the 3 hourly, or even the 4 hourly. This is in the whole day now. Typically, when you get to the death cross in the daily, some kind of bearish momentum is built up. And if you get a rejection here, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you know what happens if we get a rejection here? I could leave it to the imagination. It's not going to be pretty, folks. If it gets a rejection here, if it gets a rejection here, could have a little problem. It is what it is. But some of us look at this and we say, it's okay. If it gets a rejection here, if it gets, what I'm looking for right now is how we have this all starting and what's coming up right now. Once one thing happens in the US, all markets are going to go chaotic. Because there's going to be no reason for the falsehood anymore leading up to you know what. Right now, this is all facade because we have the election coming up. A lot of it. And maybe not as much in crypto as like in the stock markets, but still, there's a lot of facades going on here. And once the election happens, it's not going to be the same. Like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how they decide to spin this, is all I'm saying. So, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. It's also, you see like over the weekend what they did? How we see the setup happening. We see how it's working out. We can see the fair value gap. And the Great Falling had a great comment in one of my comments talking about how they often bring it outside of the, you know, the lows and things like that just so it can break it, you know, people out of it before it actually pushes to the gaps. But you see how they, over the weekend, and it came down here. We're like, oh man, it even came down another time here. It makes you feel even better. And then it comes all the way up to the resistance. And then it comes through again just before it has to make that nice bounce up. Like, you know, it's the ultimate cat and mouse game here with these algorithms they use. Because for like a software, it's fine because it's not, you know, like trading software, it's an algorithm. It doesn't care. It's like I always say in the casino, the house doesn't care because it's over time. They don't mind even if they make 2 cents here, 2 cents there because there's so much quantity. But for us, you know, it's next year is why I'm buying and holding. But for us, like we see it and we're like, oh my goodness. Even if you had something going on here and then it dropped here, you're like, nope. Came outside this, nope. I see what's going to happen here now. And it's just our emotion can get us so quickly. It just gets us so quickly. And, you know, and unfortunately, we're in a very emotional time in our human history where, yeah, but we won't get into it, but it doesn't fare very well for most of the charts because we can't, you know, we get exposed for what we are oftentimes when we put our own money into it. And you see how quickly maybe your fundamental thought might work out when you start trading and you're like, it's going to be this easy, blah, 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 you know, you hear it all. And then you start putting your money in there and it starts going away. And after 5%, you're like, well, what the hell? I can't stand this. This thing's a piece of garbage. It's down 5%. Not knowing that, hey, you know, maybe it does have a 10, 15% drop and you just got to buy this bottom at this point. And then when it does surge 35, 40%, you know, that's not what you're looking for, though. You're looking for, you know, hey, I'm building into this position. Yeah, it's got down 10, 15% at times. But I just kept buying more, bringing the average down because you're in a spot where you think it's right. And then when it pushes up, and it makes that big breakout, you just reap the rewards, but you have to have that mindset. But you also, I think a lot of people will buy into things just because it sounds like the new fad. The difference between investing and gambling, if you're buying something and you're not looking at the bottom line every single day, you're waiting for that eventual move instead of this has to happen today or tomorrow. You got gambling and then it's all gambling, but the odds can be increased if you understand the difference between an investment when it comes to trading and then just like kind of getting a hit it and quit it type of deal. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just being real. That is being real. Even if you have to recycle cans. Yes, sir. That's what I used to say all the time. However you have to do it. There's always ways. You just got to somehow have capital. But I still want to believe XRP is going to break up. I really do. Because I think Bitcoin's... The problem is if this is a double top. See this? Okay. It's a perfect time to be doing this too. Not a double top, but well, I guess a double top. But it's perfect time to do this live. Bitcoin's going to tell us it all. Is this making a Batman top and then we're going to see something like this? You know? Could we do something like this? and then start coming down, that's possible. And we can see we finished this. So this would be a good time for it to come back and at least retest and make another handle on another cup within a larger handle on a larger cup and handle right now. But the pattern often repeats itself when that's what it is. So is that what's happening with Bitcoin, or do we come up to 68,322 right now? It's a good question, because if this comes down to 64,300, it probably doesn't look good for XRP in the immediate short term. Crazy poll. How can you tell if the back test holds? Well, I suppose the best thing I can show you here is how do you know if the back test holds? Well, for XRP, see this 54.35? Oops. This 54.35 cents right here. Yeah, let me get my right here. 54.35. So this right here. Bouncing around. Even if it comes through, we cannot have in the daily time frame a close back below here right now. So the daily time frame right now is going to have to start closing above here, not the hourly. We need daily candles right now. So this candle that broke up all the way up to here at 55.25, we want to start now over 54.35, and then we're going to want to see 1 or 2 days here, unless it just immediately comes out. But you want to make sure that you stay above this for as long as possible without breaching it in a daily time frame. And then as long as you hold this, then you push up. We need to get on top of 55.94. That was like this fair value level. But it needs to hold that back test for at least a daily candle. If it breaks and holds us in the daily time frame, it looks good. A weekly would obviously validate it, but this is a short-term time frame. It's a short-term time frame. I fully anticipate this to break a little more bullish here, but you know, who am I to say? Because it very well could do the opposite. But it's holding on to Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin is doing us some favors today. I really do. It's just, we are getting into a rather oversold area. I would like to see it finish this off. Anti-communist. I wonder if Tom is artificial intelligence because he's so accurate. That'd be news to me. And my brain just works in a weird way. I'm good with this kind of stuff. I can't explain it. Can't explain it. Shrapnel's got lemon weed enough. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, sir. Cool beans. Thank you for explaining. Excellent. I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that it makes sense. But this, I mean, we've seen this W before it even happened. Fuck. Not like seeing it before it happened, but we've seen this move before it happened. It was so weird over the weekend when it made that dump down. It just, well, Tom, you know, you did say it was going to do this, and I'm not quite sure that what's supposed to happen. And they're, just to see it, you know, happen. You know, I was even talking to Julie as the run-up was happening, saying, look, Julie, all these people were making these comments, and now look. All because we want to have well, it didn't happen on Sunday. It happened on Monday. But it was a moment of opportunity over the weekend. It really was. Look at the position some could have bought. Bitcoin's up since October 10th, but take away 5.37%. I mean, it's still up 7. Bitcoin had a nice little move here. Had a nice little move, but right now it's got to get up a little bit higher. It's got to get up a little bit higher here because right now, like we said, we got to make sure in the shorter, because you got to look at all these time frames just so we can end up seeing what the hell's going on here, because it happens so quick. It happens so quick. Some of the ways that these formations set up, like look at this. It's not guaranteed that this is what's happening, but look at what started to, what the heck? Look what started to happen here. I knew he was gonna real quick. Now, if it does something like this, then we do something like... See, I like to have it like this just in case it comes down. So that I can be like, what could happen? You know, or I know I've seen this a lot too. So I go back into my memory and I know I've seen this. And sometimes it does this and then does this. And you'll get that little extension because it likes to get people at the last second. And that would be like if Ethereum does it. And you see how it's very similar to Bitcoin. That's the point. Like, look how similar these are now. Whoops. It's going to be nice now because now you can see what I'm saying. But look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just like Ethereum. So Bitcoin came up, doing this, came down. And if it makes the Batman, even if it comes up a little high, we've got to make sure it doesn't do something and go, you know, and start doing stuff like this. Because it could start forming something like that. You want to invalidate that structure. So you put it out there. You put it out there on the piece. And you say, well, we got to invalidate this structure. We don't want to just start doing something like that. But because it went up so quick this way, we could probably expect it to go... You know, it's going to be like taking the stairs down. So you take the elevator up. So I haven't described it this way in a while, but I'm going to do it a lot more this way because I think it makes the most sense. So if you take the elevator up, you take the stairs down. So on the Batman top, if it was a Batman top, not saying it is. See how I took the stairs or the elevator up? That means there was no choppiness. So boom, boom. So now if it takes the stairs down, you might go it might be a weird Batman top, but at the end you'll still be able to see it. You know, you might take the stairs down. It's like take the elevator up to take the stairs back down. Right? Maximum opportunity. I always just say that's just the trading bots again. They shot up too quickly. Now they got to go. Oh, there's a few buys here. Still excited. Catch them. Oh, few buys here. Still excited. Got to catch them. Or it chopped up. And then on the way down, there's nobody left. Everybody who wanted to get those buys last minute, there's nothing left. So it's always that, you know, you got to do kind of like the, God, it's a one big mind fuck is what it is. Let's just be honest. This is one big mind fuck. Because they know over time, most people are going to go insane. And like even the most seasoned of veterans in my audience, some of them have turned to the dark side now. This pile of shit XRP. God, it's been the same price for 8 years. I couldn't make $1 off of it. I tried. It's like, that's not true. Because if you tried, I'm not saying we're not trying, some of you, but like it's the emotion that'll stop us. We'll be like, this pile of shit. You know, oh, excuse my French, this pile of manure. And then it's as if it owes us something. No, what it's telling us all the time is, hey, buy me at 25, 30 cents and sell me at 80 cents if you're smart. You're going to make a shitload of money every rinse and repeat until it doesn't. Because one time I'm not going to come back down and then you're all screwed. Hey, my date has always been November of 25. Some people are saying that. Mine's always been between in 2028 to 2032 was my fun 4 years. So we're not even close yet for me. I want more manure extra. Yep, don't we all? Don't we all? But I mean, that's a big part of what's going on today. I hope that was a good explanation of what to expect there. Now let's read this. XRP rockets 366% to 1.1 million in weekly fund flows. XRP is back in the news after CoinShares released its latest weekly report on investments in exchange-traded products. Focused on digital assets, the report once again put the spotlight on the popular cryptocurrency. Thus, as it turns out, last week saw 1.1 million of investor funds flow into XRP ETPs. By comparison, last week the investment products focused on the 7th biggest cryptocurrency saw just a 300,000 figure for investment. In fact, XRP ETPs have seen a massive 366% increase in this metric over the past seven days. Overall, since the start of the year, These investment vehicles have seen 25 million in inflows. This makes XRP one of the top performers in the market. And we can see the little chart. Another interesting thing to note is the recent report. In the recent report is the overall inflow of 407 million, which is a major change from the 147 million outflows seen the week before. James Butterfield, an analyst at CoinShares, suggests that investor decisions have been more affected by the upcoming election in the U.S. than by what the monetary policy outlooks say. This is because the stronger than expected economic data did not stop people from selling their positions, whereas the recent shifts in the political field led to an immediate boost in inflows and prices of cryptocurrencies. The majority of the inflows are due to Bitcoin's ETFs, which brought in 419 million. On the other hand, investment products that use a short strategy on the main cryptocurrency saw outflows of $6.3 million in the opposite direction. On the other hand, Ethereum ETF saw an outflow of 9.8 million last week, which brings its month-to-date flow into the negative zone of 35 million since the start of October. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So, I thought that was interesting. I want to take a look at the Fear and Greed Index real quick before we go back to the chart side. Does anybody have anything they would like to add? Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. Let's see how many people are here this evening. 84 people. Welcome in, everybody. And please make sure to hit that like button. 50 people have hit that like button. I think we can do a whole lot better than that. Whether you're watching it on the live itself or after, make sure to hit that like button. Would greatly appreciate that. Would greatly appreciate that. How's my man flu? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what to... Yeah, the Fear and Greed Index is at 48 right now. We're in neutral. Yesterday we were neutral. Last week neutral. Last month neutral. But we've had a pretty interesting up and down the last couple months. Anyone still holding XRPH? Yes, me. Me. I have XRPH. It's not something I'm willing to trade just yet. You know, I need it to do its thing for the next couple years. This is a waiting. This is not a quick one. This is a long-term one, ladies and gentlemen. If you're buying this one, you're not looking to get rid of this anytime soon. This is something, and you know, we'll see what happens. But we could find ourselves having much better opportunities even lower. We don't know. The whole crypto space is in a weird spot. It makes it fun, but it also makes it like, well, you know. Let's clean up some of the mess here. Let's clean up some of the mess. It's been such a long pattern now. This has been such a long setup now. But XRP Healthcare is on the ledger. I mean, on XRP's ecosystem, I should say. But I mean, you can buy it within the ledger too on Zoom, I believe. Same in a lot of the other ones. So there are ways to buy it now. Just takes a little ingenuity. That's all. All right, let's see. I love when it does it. Love it, Trading View. All right. I mean, it's had this pretty steady little trend right here. It has had a pretty steady trend ever since this little push out, but I don't know. You know, it's going to take time for all this to materialize. Right now, we've got something like this setting up. And, you know, these can drag on and on and on and on and on and on and on until we're ready. XRP Healthcare is not in a rush to go anywhere yet. It's big. I keep saying there's a lot of stuff going on in the ecosystem towards that 28 to 32 area. Zaman, yeah, there you go. Shrapnel, Zaman you can. There you go. See? I got kicked off X. Yeah, they never really, my stuff never gets pushed online on X. I just share my content. But just my post from YouTube. But if you're looking to trade XRP, in video description below you can find it. Or if you're on my homepage, just go to my homepage. What's going on here? And go to XRP Future Millionaire. And then we can go over here. And you can go to BITUNIX, which is my favorite. It's just, as far as if you're inexperienced leverage trader or spot trader, it's so simple. It's the easier one to understand. Their fees are very low. And you can use it worldwide. No VPN or KYC. Unless you send a receipt from a bank account. So just remember that. BLOFIN. There's reasons for that. Members only understand what I'm talking about. There's incentives to be in Tom's Army more so now than there used to be. Like there's a whole membership area to where, a lot of people aren't privy to what's going on. So we've had some stuff in the community, but they're only members only posts on some of these. So we actually, I'll share it for 2 seconds in the live, but we actually made some nice trades that a lot were a part of. And the last one was closed out now too. But that's only for members only now. So I don't talk about it in my normal stuff anymore, but there's still an avenue if you want to copy trade through BLOFIN, but you got to be part of Tom's Army to even understand what's going on there. Too much stuff just in the general public. So that's all the caveat I'm giving there. So I'll give small hints here and there that it's going on, but it's going to be in the live, and it's going to be in the back end of a live like this for 10 seconds. So good stuff happening there. So anybody in that, slowly but surely we're getting to where we're going. But I greatly do appreciate everybody who shows support. And then even during the YouTube, there was a Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal on that page. If you'd like to send a YouTube super chat, you can do that. But obviously none of that's required. I do all of this in front of you without charging anything. So, but there's always, there's always stuff. If you're not part of Tom's Army and you join Tom's Army, you're going to see stuff and say, holy crap, I didn't even know that was going on. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. How do I don't care much for the Flare token, I'll be honest. As long as they're going to keep giving people free tokens for holding it, just for the hell of it, what do you want me to say? That's no different than the US dollar continuing to inflate itself. It just devalues itself. So, it's a little bit different than Ripple just printing money. That'd be like Ripple printing those billion tokens per month and then just handing them out to people in their wallets. So I don't have much expectation for Flare. I know a lot of people do. I see it more as just a token they use to scam people out of their XRP. I almost feel like that's why they created Flare. I see more scam stuff than I do actual integration in today's age, to be honest. So I don't know. I think it's more gimmicky than anything. That's just my personal opinion. A little bit of honey from the mountains and my Indian tea and lighting up a lemon. Ooh, I want to read the rest of that. But I'm not saying when Flare was at 0.007 or wherever it was at when we bought it, and then sold it at 4 or 5 cents. I don't mind doing stuff like that, but a lot of people are telling me it's going to $1. I can't see it. None of that. I don't see any of that. There's just too much. It becomes too much in circulation after a while. And it's not going to be able to push as much as XRP will. As far as capital, so I don't know. That's just I don't hate it. I just hate the, what's behind, the stigma behind it is all. I think it's a little too powerful. What else do we have? The XRP Bitcoin pairing's down 2.13%. I'm getting rid of some of this noise. Because I try to keep past and future areas. But really, what do I always say? It only matters the longer term of the pattern anyhow. At the end of the day, You know, if you start to get away from all of the, oh my goodness, look at this. So there's 5,000 different things it can do in this 1 second. When you start getting outside of that, then you can start to actually see the totality of it. We can see we've been in some big falling channel here over the long scale, but it's kind of shaping itself out. Like that was just a short time to look at it. But if you start opening it up to the back end of this pattern, this is what you really need to pay attention to, just like this. If that uptrend busts, well, you know what? It gave it a shot, but at the end of the day, it's probably got to come back down lower if that doesn't hold. And for the XRP Bitcoin pairing, it's speaking to us almost like it's not strong enough right now. Like, as much as I hate to say it, the XRP Bitcoin pairing is like, it's like not strong enough. Like we're not getting that big tug right now for whatever reason. And it looks like we put in a nice head and shoulders topping pattern here. So it almost makes it feel like it wants to come all the way back down to here. So it's we're just at an interesting spot right here, because this might not just be that XRP is not going to move. It might just be that Bitcoin's going to outperform XRP in just a magnificent way. So there's a lot of stuff we have to watch here in this small time. If we could get past some of these little caveats here, we could actually break pretty bullish. But that's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I got today. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I appreciate every single one of you. Like I say, I do things in a certain way. I feel like today this is what I needed to do. Hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out with Julie. I appreciate everybody who stopped in, and I'll try to do better tomorrow, because I think we still have a lot more to do. We have a lot more to cover, and I thank everybody for tuning in and all of you for